Welcome. In front of me is a SONY Xperia 5 Mark II, and today I'll show you a couple tweaks and tricks that I can do on this device. So we're going to begin with the auto split screen, which on here, I don't know if you can see, but there's this tiny little bar on the side, and what it allows you to do is double click on it. I'm watching it for the first time, so let it go to the animation. So once you open it up, you will have this tab, basically button right here for split screen. Again, let's give it a second. Once you do, you can see right here we have several apps that will be auto split screen. Now you can create your own. You also have basically apps that you can launch automatically, but I really like the option right here to have it auto into two apps. So once you tap on it, it automatically just split screen for you the two apps, and it really makes this experience way better. So when it comes down to resizing, you'll have to do it yourself, but the fact that you don't actually have to open up the two apps yourself, you just click once and there it is. It's really nice. So obviously, you never use split screen, you can use two different apps at the same time, and I choose YouTube and Chrome because those are probably the two most used apps, at least for me. I'm listening to something, and for instance I'm browsing web, and the benefit of this is I can continue to listen to something without actually being forced into the app itself. Now normally to achieve this, you either have to download some kind of third-party application or pay for the YouTube, music application or whatever, that will allow you to basically leave the app and make it usable as almost a media player instead, or music player instead of like a video player. So this is basically a nice alternative to that, which requires no monthly fee. So let's close that now and go to the next one, which is going to be the 120 Hz refresh rate. Now this display comes with 120 Hz, but for some reason by default it is disabled, so you're not going to be getting these buttery smooth animations and just overall experience of 120. Now before I actually enable it, I will mention that on the camera, unfortunately, this will not be visible in any kind of way. The camera is recording at 60 frames, and anything above that will just go unrecorded. So right now it is at 60. If I change it to 120, the camera is still recording at 60, so it won't see the difference. But by all means, I advise you to go into the settings and change it up and then see the difference. So as you've seen, I went to the display section, and from here we should see high refresh rate. Enable this, and now we have 120 Hz, and this just looks just better. It's just super smooth. Now like I said, unfortunately it is not going to be visible here, but you'll most certainly see the difference once you enable it. Now moving on to the next one, it's going to be a simple dark mode. Again, it's going to be under the display. If it's also not in here, let me quickly check. So I don't see it in here. So we can go to the display, and in here we have a toggle for dark theme, and there we go. Now this will turn notifications completely black, as you can see. Default apps will also be affected by it. Now unfortunately they went with this grayish color for the majority of the areas, but for instance like right here where you have the notification panel and you have fully black background, because this is an OLED display, every pixel here is self-lit, so anything that is completely black is actually not being lit up whatsoever. And because of that, the display won't need to waste as much power to light up basically entire screen. It's just gonna lit up the parts that it needs to, and that will save you a little bit of battery as well. But like I said, it only works on a fully black pixels, like they are right here, and things like this where it's grayish, it doesn't really affect it then, which like I said, it's a little bit of a shame. Now moving on to the next option, it's going to be the image quality. Now this is more for the people that want to have as much of as accurate color representation as possible, and you can enable that again under the display. It's going to be, let me quickly disable this. So we're looking for image quality settings right here, and by default it's set to standard, but we can change it to creator, and this will give you the most accurate colors possible, at least on the device phone. Now, as you can see, it also makes them look a little bit less saturated. Obviously, you can hopefully see this. It seems a little bit darker now and a little bit less colorful. If I re-enable the standard, I can see that it is a little bit more greenish now. But like I said, this is going to be more accurate color scheme. So this is how the image usually should look like. It might not be as flattering, but when it comes down to the actual like accuracy of the color, this is what it's supposed to look like. Now, when it comes down to this option, it is complete preference, and if you don't like it, then by all means just disable it. I'm pretty sure you're not going to be editing videos on the phone, and because of that, this option is, like I said, primarily just however you like. As long as you're not editing videos and not looking for the most accurate colors on your phone, because of that, then this section is purely cosmetic wise. Now, when it comes on to the next option, it's going to be something that I personally like, which is the gesture navigation. As you can see, by default we have the buttons, but we can change them to gestures, and they are fairly nice on here. So we need to go to System, Gestures, and System Navigation, and change it to Gesture Navigation. And as you can see, it creates this bar right at the bottom. And if you never use gesture navigation, I'm gonna give a quick guide on it. So you swipe up to go home, as I just did. You swipe up and hold to go to recent, and you swipe from sides to go back. As you can see, there is an arrow popping up, so you can swipe from either side. And overly, you won't have any kind of icon or anything to basically signify what you can do. You only have this bar, which you can slide on it to the sides to switch between apps quickly, and swipe and hold. And after you're somewhere where you can't go home because you already are home, the bar disappears, and the side gestures are completely invisible until you actually try to interact with them, assuming you can go back. And moving on to the next one, it's going to be the sensors off. Now, this is for the people that want to have complete privacy with their device, or on their device. What it allows you to do is basically turn off sensors on the device, so microphone, cameras, all that stuff, just gone, turned off. And if you try to use it while the option is enabled, for instance, camera will either show a black screen or just crash. So to actually get it enabled, we will need to go into the settings and enable developer options. So if you have already enabled developer options, skip by like 10 seconds. But if you have never enabled them, you will need to go into the settings. From there, actually not here, it's settings, about phone. Scroll all the way down to build number, tap on that 7 times. As you can see, for me it taps no need, you're already a developer. So once you see that message, simply go to System, Advanced, and Developer Options. And from here you scroll down to Quick Settings, Developer Tiles, and enable Sensors Off option. And simply quit. And now if you pull down the panel, you can see that the toggle Sensors Off is right here as a first option. And all you need to do is just tap on it. Now, I kind of missed it, but that's okay. I'm gonna first off actually show you. I guess it is on. That's interesting. Let's see if something is what's going on here. So it looks like it's already enabled. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, not sure why it lagged out for a moment there, but as you can see now it's enabled. So there is the camera, or it's disabled, and camera is working. Obviously you can see it. And if I now enable this back up, camera's gone now. And if I try to relaunch it, you get the error message. And again, if I disable it again and go back, it should work just fine. And now, like I said, it disables camera and microphone. And when it comes down to calls, you will need to disable this before you pick up call, or otherwise the person that is calling you won't be able to hear you. So because the microphone is disabled, yeah, they can't hear you. So a little bit of a downside of this, but still it is a fairly nice option to have for privacy concern. And moving on to the last option that I wanted to show, it's more of a alternative along with a couple different options here. So if you never used a Sony Xperia phone, then you probably aren't aware that apart from the normal camera application, you have the Cinema Pro and Photo Pro. Now when it comes down to the Photo Pro, for instance, it is a really nice application, with the downside of it that it needs to be set manually. And if you try to capture a quick photo, it might be a little bit of a annoyance there, because you need to basically align everything, so exposures, focuses, and all that stuff, so the photo comes out good. So that is a little bit of a downside, but apart from that, if you have a controlled environment where you have lighting and more of a like a studio kind of shoot, this is an amazing app, along with the Cinema Pro, which allows you to record along. Again, it has a bunch of amazing functions here. So let me just go through it. So obviously you can see it right away. A bunch of options right here: resolutions, frame rates, look. So this is more of a you can change like the filters basically. ISO levels. Then we have the balances. What I really like here is also the, or is it the focus? So right now it's a manual, and as you can see, there's the A and B options. So you can slide A and B, and then when you're recording, you can just tap between A and B, and it will automatically go to each point smoothly. And you can also change the speed of it, at which point it switches. So right now it's set to be 1 second, so it takes 1 second from A to B and vice versa. But we can, for instance, make it just almost instant in 0.1 seconds. Let's go to OK. So you can see this is right now at 0.1 second, so it's almost instant. But when it comes down to like filming something and having this like super smooth transition and focus change, this is really nice. Like I said, I really like this. Apart from that, you can also change the lenses here. So if you want to choose a different lens, and because we have 3, you can simply choose a different lens. You're free to do so, and you can shoot whichever one you want. With the downside of this, if you, for instance, go for 4K as an example, 60, you're only locked to the 24mm lens, and you can't choose other ones. So keep that in mind. That is basically the reason why you can't change it. But I would say that it's an amazing app, and like I said, it works best in controlled environment. Now, apart from that, as you've seen, there's the typical camera app from Sony, and yeah, not much more to say. It's just a typical camera right here. It works okay, but another thing that I want to show is that you can also easily install the Gcam, so the same camera that the Google Pixel phones use. And all you need to really do is search for the Gcam online, and you will get like the XDA website where you can download the file. It's just a simple APK, and once you install it, you can freely launch it. So as you can see, this is the app from basically Google Pixel. You have focuses right here. You can record if you want to. And for some people, some people actually really like the Gcam, the way it captures color and just the specific way it's set up. And this is similar right here. It's gonna keep those similar appearances of like the Google Pixel. But like I said, some people will be okay with the typical app. Some people will like Gcam. It's more of a preference, what kind of color aesthetic you like of your photos, and how do you like the exposures and stuff like that, because each camera application will deal with exposures and just overall colors of the photo a little bit differently. So it's more of a preference thing here. But this would conclude all the tweaks and tricks that are on this show, and if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.